Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whenever you are watching this. Alright, um, hello everybody, and today we're going to talk about, fashion predictions, trend predictions, just full on what I think this year is going to look like, what we're going to start seeing people, want to wear more and dress more, and between like makeup and hair, like we're talking about all of it. We're talking about all of the aesthetics today. We're going to start with the winter trend predictions because we're in winter right now. We've only got like, let's say 2 more months of the cold. So what we've been seeing was sort of a continuation of what we saw last year. So last year was all about like furs and mob wives vibes, and looking expensive, and this year I feel like it's still furs, but it's less like Italian wife, and it's more like Russian, Slavic doll, like snow bunny type vibe. So the big fur hats, the big fur coats, the fur boots, just a lot of like fur, whether it be like leather and with just like some trim, or just a full-on like plush jacket. The furs, the Uggs. Uggs are still in. They've been in the last couple of years, and I don't think they're going anywhere. Okay, so let's talk about hats. So like I just mentioned, the big Russian like fur hats, you know, kind of what I'm talking about. Towards like springtime, I think we're gonna see hats kind of come about again. I feel like people don't really wear hats anymore. Like I know men do, but like as for fashion wise, like as for like a style, as for an accessory, I feel like people do not wear hats anymore. So that's why I'm wearing this hat, because I want to show that like I'm into this trend as well. A few hats here I'm seeing. So just like ball caps, I'm seeing like the graphic ball caps, kind of like when I was doing like the Jersey Shore vibes. I feel like Y2K is not really going to go anywhere. It's just going to sort of evolve into later into the 2000s. That's where we're going to get our inspiration from. So it's just going to, Y2K is not going anywhere, but it's just going to sort of take a little bit of a turn. Cheetah Girls hats is kind of what I would call this one, where like it's that like slouchy hat, but it's got like the beak. So snapbacks also might be coming back for the people that want to do like more of a skater aesthetic. Just like these, there's also, I'm seeing new, there's a new style of hat. It's like a hood hat, which kind of sounds like a toque or like a bonnet, but it's not. But it kind of just looks like you're wearing this like big slouchy hood, but it sort of stops around like your shoulders. Um, Kind of like medieval armor, but I'm also seeing this like berets. Um, if that's more of your like if you're in more like a preppy vibe, I can see berets coming back, and also just like there's like slouchy hats. They're not quite beanies and they're not quite berets, but they're like these round slouchy hats, and they kind of sit like this, or they can sit at the back of your head. Those were really big in the 2000s. I think those could be coming back as well. Now, I think we're just going to be accessorizing a lot more, um, overall, because I also have scarves on here. And I'm talking about those like thin fashion scarves, right? They were like sparkly, or they were like a cool color, and people just like wore them like wrapped around their neck, like pulled down here or pulled down the side. Like they were not for warmth, they were not big and cozy like infinity scarves. Like these were just like these little wraps. So I feel like those could be coming back, especially like again in like a silver color. I think that would be very big. Belts. So again, people still wear belts, but not like they did in the 2000s where they were just wearing them like around their shirt, around their dress. I don't think people aren't really layering them right now. They're just wearing them like if, you know, if it looks good with the jeans or if their pants need to be tightened. So I think layering multiple belts, like 3-4 belts at a time, and they're all like kind of like they have studs on them or they're blingy or yeah, sort of like what I did for the Charlie XCX Brat Summer concert. I was kind of like layering the belts that I had. Um, layered jewelry as well. So yeah, I'm seeing people wearing I'm going to be like a lot of I feel like people are going to be wearing a lot of like layered chunky jewelry, especially silver, okay? Whether it's silver makeup, silver jewelry, silver clothes, I don't know. Silver is going to be huge because again, I'm thinking back to like the early 2000s and how they were going to be envisioning the 2020s, 2020 or 2025, and they always thought we were going to be like basically like moon boots and space suits, like very like just like silver. So now we're going to talk about nails. So nail trends of the year that I could see coming in that already kind of are coming in, that I think could get bigger. So again, silver, like I'm saying, just like because we've seen kind of chrome silver kind of come in, and we've seen the glazed donut nails come in. So it's sort of in those realms, but I'm just getting like it's a very just like sparkly silver or like little gems, sort of like French tip gems with little silver stones, like that. Nail piercings, so like the hoops in the piercings in the nails. Cat eye polish. So we've been seeing cat eye polish come in late this year around the fall and into the winter, and I think that's not going to stop. Cat eye polish kind of became trendy or came out sort of during COVID 2020, 2021, and they didn't really get the it didn't really get the hype that it needed or that it deserved because nobody was going to the nail salon at the time. And so then by the time people got back into the salons and as things became normal again, people kind of forgot about cat eye and they were kind of on to like the other stuff and like the glazed donut nails and stuff like that. So they didn't really get their time. So I feel like now they're like, people are like realizing, oh yeah, there's still cat eye nails. And so people are able to really start diving into that with different shades and, you know, putting different colors underneath or putting certain shapes on them as well. I think it's really cool, and I think it's going to continue to, you know, build up. Fish lure nails. Yes, you heard me. Fish lure nails. I do not think fish lure nails are going to be some like crazy exploding trend that you're going to be seeing everybody do. But you never know. But I do think this summer we could see them come up a bit with the nail girlies, with the people that are always getting their nails done, always need the new thing. Fish lure nails, they're just quite something. They're funky, they're hilarious, they're cool, especially if you want to get nails for your boyfriend, or if you're a country girl or something like that. I think it's funny, but and it's something of this year, but I don't think it's necessarily going to be a huge trend. But I just thought it was something to mention. Okay, curved Y2K nails. So in the early 2000s, when the nail sets were $20, $30, and there was like all those like prints, and like you could get like the pre-done tips that people like that the nail people would put on. So I'm seeing like the really long, chunky Frenches, but they're like curved. or they got like the zebra print tips, or like the Hawaiian flower stamps. I'm getting like Y2K is definitely going to be inspiring nail. So like the way nails used to look back when they were cheap is what I'm getting people are going to be going for. Okay, so as for hair, a few things for hair trends this year. I'm really getting white hair. I do not know why. I know for the past like 10 years, like pastel hairs and gray hair, silver hair has been on and off. You know, I feel like people still want their hair ashy, but they don't want that like Billie Eilish gray hair anymore. But it really was like such a want and such a trend in like 2015 to 2017, 2018 even, people really wanted the gray hair. I'm not really seeing that as much anymore. But white hair is really what I'm seeing for 2025. So like Game of Thrones, like white is white. Like, yeah, I'm getting that, or I'm getting like chunks of white or like chunky highlights. And so the chunky highlights I really enjoy, and I hope that they do stay. And so like if you have black hair, doing like the blonde and like the bright red chunks in it for like this like cherry peppermint like pretty vibe. But then also like if you have blonde hair, like doing like pink and like brown chunks for like a Neapolitan like ice cream vibe. If you have like red hair, I feel like chunks of like black and blonde to do the calico trend. Like I really love the chunky highlight and like the triple hair color, like the tri hair color chunkiness. I don't know. I really love that. I'm also seeing like crazy styles. Like I want to say from the early 2000s, maybe like let's say 1999 to 2006, where people were like wearing like zigzag parts and like spiky space buns, like multiple buns all over their head. They would have their hair in like a side pony with like two little braids hanging out. Like bejeweled hair, stickered hair, stuff like that. So I feel like that will be for more of like um, the younger generation who maybe didn't like the side parts a couple years ago. It could be like more of the high schooler generation to get into like those kind of crazy hairstyles. So again, I'm seeing like some like 1960s inspiration being pulled for makeup and hair. So the beehive I'm getting could come back, or just more vintage styles in general, because we're already like the blowout is not going anywhere. People want this really big, nice blowout. They want, and they're even starting to use curlers and hot curlers, rollers, I mean, whatever you want to call them. So I think people are going to go back to like more of a vintage style hair. They already kind of are. And so yeah, the beehive. And especially the beehive, and you think back to like Amy Winehouse, and you think back to Snooki. So it is Y2K as well as the 60s. And so do I think it will be as big or as dirty or as messy? Maybe not. That's why I'm saying it's more of a 1960s, more of a Priscilla type of look. But yeah, I'm getting like a maybe like a more big volumed back, and the straight with the curl at the bottom, the headbands. We're gonna get into that. Yes, so I think like accessories in general, hats, headbands, gloves, belts, like it, lots of jewelry, like it's all really gonna like blow up. Because I feel like we really haven't been accessorizing. We've been quite basic and quite plain for the past 10 years. Trying to get away from all the stuff that we did in 2010 with the the hipster glasses and the colorful jeans and the skinny pants and all the stuff we did, you know. So anyways, frosted tips. So for my men, for the boys, so we're already seeing high schoolers the past couple of years and younger men started doing perms again. And so I think the next step, again, because I'm seeing a lot of like white Game of Thrones hair or white chunks of hair, that even for men, you know, the frosted tips, and again, like it's going to be so icy, so white, like with the perms or without, like that's what I'm seeing. Also, Miley Cyrus hair, Miley in 2009, and we're going to talk about this because this is a whole vibe and a whole reference in itself. I have lots of references here, but Miley Cyrus in particular, 2009, rock star Miley Cyrus, okay? You can't just put in rock Miley Cyrus because she's kind of a rock star now again, but yes, back then when she had like the long curly wavy hair, and she would wear like the slouchy shirts with like the studded jeans, the studded belt, the cowboy boots, I think are going to be coming back. The more like slouchier, off the shoulder, baggier shirts. Okay. So, the makeup trends of 2025, I feel like are going to be, it's very matte. I feel like it's going to be a very matte makeup look because the last couple of years, everybody's been into skincare, into glass skin, into the dewy, illuminated look. So, I think that this year, it's all going to go back to sort of how it was in 2014, sort of before we were influenced in 2015, 2016, by all the new beauty gurus that sort of put us onto this baddie makeup, onto this full coverage, like drag makeup. You know, it was heavy contour, heavy concealer, false lashes, cut crease, big wing, full bold brow, you know, dark matte lipstick. It was just such a... It was very drag queen inspired, and at the time I really liked that, and I mean I know a lot of people did, because it was the trend then, but the reason it was the way it was is because all those beauty gurus were men, and at the time we didn't realize that, or maybe we did, you know, I don't know. There was some that were very like undercover and they were posing as women. And then there was some who were just straight up men teaching us how to do makeup, like Manny or Patrick Starr or Jeffree Star, right? But then there was all these like transgender women who, you know, like Nikki Tutorials or Nikita Dragon, or these people who we didn't know necessarily. So that's just how the makeup was then. But before that, in like 2014, it was still quite feminine. Everything was matte. We didn't really use highlighter. We didn't, like, our brows weren't too crazy, but like everything was still done. That's what I feel like is how it's gonna go back. So it's like not heavy blush, because people have been on the heavy blush train past couple years. So I just feel like it's gonna be really light blush, really light contour, if any at all. Light eyebrows. I'm also seeing like taming the eyebrows a little bit. So in the past like 5 years, we've really been wanting these like thick, natural, bushy brows, laminated, brushed all the way up. I feel like people are really going to start like taming their brows. I don't think we're necessarily going to go into like a super, super thin eyebrow where everybody just gets rid of them, but I think they won't be as big or as like bushy anymore. They'll just be more cleaned up, if that makes sense. Concealer lips. Yes, so I'm getting that we are going to be doing a lot more nude lips, or that's what we're going to be seeing people be doing. I mean, obviously we've been doing nude lips, like the beige lips and the brown lips, for the past like 10 years. That's really been on trend, but I think it's going to go even further, and because of all the new MAC lipsticks that have just been re-released, the old ones like the Flesh Pot and stuff like that. So we're gonna be seeing like a lot of that concealer lip look where it's very, very light and nude and beige, where it like almost washes out your face. Yeah. Also, I'm seeing like more of a gray taupey lip, frosted lips as well. So the early 2000s, like that pink, frosty, shimmery pink gloss. Like I'm seeing that come back heavy. I'm seeing even maybe like a silver lipstick, a silver gloss come into play, like a whole frosted line of lipstick or lip gloss could be coming into the chat in 2025, because that was such a big part of the Y2K fashion, actually, was like these frosted lips. Like they weren't sparkly, they were just like, I don't know. Smoky eyes. I feel like smoky eyes are going to be coming back. A really just messy approach to makeup, a really feminine approach to makeup, to be honest with you, because not that, well, yeah, where I feel like we're taking all of our skills that we've learned and we're really just using what works for our own face. And I also just feel like it's just a lot lighter. We're just going to be really looking like women. We're not going to be like, it might be a full coverage look, but we still want to look like us. It's not going to be heavy sculpted contour. It's not going to be blinding highlight. We're just really like enhancing and like keeping everything just like more natural. You know what I mean? Just like do makeup how you want to do makeup, not how the YouTubers are telling you how to do makeup. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, so I'm seeing like more of a messy look, like kind of like a smeared look. 60s eyes. So like 60s Italian wife eyes, 60s Priscilla eyes. We saw this kind of in 2020 and 2021, and this kind of took off, and I thought, wow, this is really great, but it kind of turned into graphic liner and kind of went a different direction. So I hope that this year we see it really come back just in a natural way, and just like in like a pretty look. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be like hot pink cut crease wing liner thing. The shoes. So shoes, what do I feel like this year for shoes? So chunky heels, and what do I mean by chunky heels? Where like it's covering most of your foot, or where there's like a lot of leather, a lot of studs. So like the Jeffrey Campbells, I feel like are gonna be making a comeback. Whether they be studded or leather or just big and chunky, very platformy, very high up. I think back in like 2012 to 2014, when everybody was wearing like pumps to like normal places, you know, with their jeans, with their skirts, all that kind of stuff could definitely be coming back as well. That those really big stripper platform rounded pumps, the very, very high ones, they really don't make heels that high anymore. And everybody has just kind of been wearing flats, kitten heels, platforms, and sneakers. Like nobody's really been wearing those super high shoes anymore. So I think those are going to be coming back in a casual way. And a wide sneaker. Okay, so we've already kind of seen the Air Force One come back in the last 5 years. And, you know, before that, in like, let's say 2016, 2017, it was about the Adidas, and it was about the wide Puma. But we're really going to go back to even wider. Like, we're going to go back to, like, wide DC, wide, like, Osiris shoe. Like, we're going to go back to them really wide skater shoes, if that's the aesthetic, you know? Like, if you're going for the more of that early 2000s skater aesthetic. So the lace pants inspired me to talk about all of this stuff, because I feel like this is sort of the new thing. lace pants. So they're kind of like this bell-bottomy type flare pant, and they're kind of just like pure lace. And so I feel like they are going to be big. People have been wearing these so far. I've seen them wearing these with uh like graphic tees and like big t-shirts or jerseys mostly. So they kind of like dress it down, baddie it up with like making it more like tomboy with like a chain and a jersey, and then like lace pants and sneakers, or like lace pants and heels, however you want to wear it. I'm also seeing you could also do the lace pants with as more of like a hippie look, and do more of like a Vanessa Hudgens Coachella vibe with the lace pants. But I could also see you doing like lace pants with as more of a gothic witchy look, right? Keep it all black, keep it bell sleeves, whimsical. You could also make it more like dressed up and edgier, more like 2014, like emo Tumblr era, because that's kind of coming back too. You could do it with like the red lipstick and like a leather jacket. So there's lots of ways that I feel like the lace pants could be coming in. Also, like a coquette type of style. I don't think bows are going to be going anywhere. So the lace pants with like bow cutouts, and just like cutouts on pants in general, I think could be a thing again. But I don't think it's going to be skinny jeans, and I don't think it's going to be like a distressed type of look. But I do think there could be slits in pants and then like tied up with bows, or have like gems or butterflies, or like something to like sort of keep them together, if that makes sense. Because I don't think that like the distressed, like super ripped, bleached type of look is back yet. That's just me. Now, as for jeans, like I said just now, I don't think we're going to be going back to skinny jeans. But I know there's a lot of people that do want to go back to skinny jeans. So if you're one of those people and you really love your skinny jeans, wear skinny jeans. Like, no one is stopping you. Who cares? It's not cool. It's fine. It's allowed. But what I'm seeing is we're not going to be doing the big baggy jeans that sort of Gen Z really pushed a couple years ago. But I don't think they're going to be skinny. I think they're just going to be like form fitting. So this could be like a mom jean, a boot cut jean, just a straight cut jean, like flares. Like, there is many cuts of jeans, and I feel like we had them all in the early 2000s and throughout the 2000s. It wasn't until like 2009, 2010 was really when we stepped into like, they have to be skinny jeans and they have to be as tight as possible. And like, I remember like not wanting jeans if they had like the littlest like loose bit at my ankles. Like, if they weren't like sucking like my entire leg, like they were not cool. So I do think just like a basic look, like a dark skinny jean, like no rips, just a classic dark skinny jean that fits you really nice, with like just a basic plain like long sleeve like tight shirt with like maybe some jewelry. I think that is a really classic, feminine, clean look. So if you're a person who really likes skinny jeans, go for it. But honestly, I don't really love them that much after leaving them. Like, they're not that comfortable for me. I just, you know what I mean? But I'm definitely not saying we have to be super baggy waggy pants, you know what I mean? Like, show off your booty, like, show off your legs, like, do whatever you want to do, you know? As for makeup, I'm also seeing blue eyeshadow could be popping into the chat. It's been a long time since blue eyeshadow has been popular, but I have been seeing people wearing blue looks in the past year. So I think I think that could be a possibility. More blue and more gray for the eyes, and just like less of a care of like how it's like completely perfect, or that people need to know that you're good at makeup. Oh, so I really hope that zebra print will come back as well. Um, People in the last couple years have recognized animal print, or leopard print, like that, brown, golden, black leopard print, as being sort of like a neutral because it's kind of beige. But why are we not talking about zebra print? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like cow print had its day in the past like year or two. Like, zebra print. Okay? Why did we forget about zebra print? That is a neutral. I mean, it's black and white. You know what I mean? Ugh. So, I also feel like if you're a little bit older, like if you're not a Gen Z, if you're a millennial, you kind of already like a sort of a different style. And so for those type of people who are more wearing blazers and beige and in white, and the sort of minimalistic, it's kind of athletic millennial style, I see for them, they could be doing more of an office siren type of look, or business casual. We saw business casual a lot in the early 2000s, where like you could be going anywhere, like you could be going to the bar, or you could be going to work. Like it was kind of like where people were like wearing like little cardigan blazer shrug type things with like jeans and like pinstripe vests and stuff like that. So I could definitely see like that type of stuff coming back in the thin glasses as well. When I did my office siren look with that red dress. References. For stellar references, we have Charli XCX 2014. So this covers the sort of that emo Tumblr time, and I feel like that is kind of partly where people are going. Whether it's like the studded shorts with like the black tights underneath, or the studded Jeffrey Campbell boots, or the leather jackets. Zoella from that era as well has that aesthetic. So Miley Cyrus 2009, again, it's that rocker aesthetic. The baggy shirts and the jewelry with the jeans, the studded jeans. Vanessa Hudgens Coachella, so that's more of like that hippie vibe, the lace and the browns and the creams. Okay, Kesha, again from 2010 to 2014, because we're seeing that like brat era, that like trashy, dirty, messy party type of vibe kind of come back, that Jersey Shore type of vibe come back throughout all of these styles as well. So Kesha in those eras, definitely. Priscilla Presley in the 1960s, again for that hair and that makeup. Anything from the 1960s you can follow, because everything from the 60s, it doesn't get better than the 60s, because it was just so timeless and beautiful and perfect. But anyway, yes. Basically how Elvis dressed Priscilla in her Vegas horror makeup. That, mwah, 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 chef's kiss. Okay, Avril Lavigne from the early 2000s, let's say 2003, 2010. Right? That skater vibe where she's got those like chunks of highlights, or that very like straight hair with the cargo baggy pants, and like a wide sneaker, and then like a fishnet long sleeve, or like a mesh long sleeve, or like lots of chains, or like a striped long sleeve with a t-shirt on top, or like like that very like skater vibe. Game of Thrones, Hunger Games, fantasy dystopian type of Witcher type of things again for that like white hair and like skinny vibe, right? I haven't really talked about this, but as we've been seeing, all of the celebrities are becoming incredibly skinny again. Yeah, so the big lips and the big butts and the like blackification of the white girl is kind of leaving, as the Kardashians are slimming down even as well. So yeah, there's something about everybody getting really skinny right now and becoming this like really like heroin chic, like the early 2000s, and where they just look really sunken in and bony. And so again, that's why I think, you know, the off the shoulder shirts or the baggy shirts are going to be coming back in, because it's like everybody wants to be like so skinny, so like all our shirts need to just like fall off of us because we're so skinny. Like, I honestly really do think that, though. Like, I'm not really sure why. I'm a person who, like, yes, is going to see all these trends and is going to be able to talk to you about it, but I'm thinking about, like, the deeper side, the deeper meaning of all of this. Like, why are all the celebrities going skinny, though? Like, you can say, oh, it's Ozempic. You can say, oh, it's the trend. Oh, it's whatever it is. But why? Why are they pressuring the masses now to like, want this skinny look all of a sudden? You know, but it's interesting, right? Like all these people got all these like Brazilian butt lifts and are trying to be so curvy and look so thick, and now all of a sudden like they're switching it up and everybody like, oh, that's too obtainable, like let's get super thin. And like, so I don't know. So that's what I mean. Any dystopian stuff, like, honestly, is kind of the style vibe, because again, it's like that silvery stainless steel vibe, clean white hair, like smoky eye, really, really thin, frail, you know? Like, I'm getting it's like the leaders of a dystopian movie is kind of, it's going to be a very big fashion trend. Okay, so, which I know Game of Thrones isn't dystopian. Please don't come for me. I haven't watched it. I know it's in the past, but it's fantasy. You get what I'm saying. Vampires. Vampires and mermaids. Style icons. Right? Yeah. So people could be wearing more seashells. Or just wearing more like dark gothic looks. More like crosses and black and reds together. Like with like black and red lace. Like stuff like that. Or velvet. Dark bloody cherry lips. If you're looking for style reference, I don't know. Cheetah Girls, That's So Raven, Philip the Future, The Sleepover, Aquamarine, Crossroads, Hannah Montana in the early days, early Wizards of Waverly Place. Yeah, again, where they're wearing that sort of like, oh, layering. I haven't really talked about layering as well. So I feel like we're going to be seeing people layer again. Last year I was layering tank tops, and I think there was people who thought that was really cool. They forgot that you could do that. And so I think it'll go a step further, because in the 2000s, people would be like wearing like a layered, like, they'd wear like a t-shirt, but then they'd wear like a tank top over top. Or two tank tops, or they'd wear like the long sleeve with the t-shirt on top. So there was a lot about layering. So whether it be layering belts, shirts, jewelry, like layering things that you wouldn't think you'd be able to layer or want to layer, like a long shirt or a dress or a skirt, or like some sort of wraparound skirt, something quite long covering your butt, but then you'd wear like jeans with it. But they wouldn't be like skinny jeans, they'd just be like slim jeans with like a heel. Like, what were we doing? But then we'd have like a belt over top the dress skirt jeans. Like, it would just be so much layering. So I do feel like the accessories and the layering is going to be coming back. Yep. So I hope you found some style inspiration. And at the end of the day, wear whatever you like, wear what makes you feel cute, wear whatever you wanted to wear when you were a kid, when you were a teenager, that you couldn't, that you felt like people were going to judge you, that you felt like your mom wouldn't let you, whatever it is, whatever is going to make you happy. Who cares your age? Who cares the aesthetic? Who cares if it's in right now? Because let me tell you something, 2025 is all about being who you want to be. Being any, I know that sounds like Barbie, but like being any aesthetic you want to be. Whether that's like whatever decade, whether it's messy girl, clean girl, trashy girl, retro girl, like it don't matter. It don't matter. Okay? Just be yourself. And I think, you know, I hope to see, in 2025, I hope to see people have less beige and white and gray in their wardrobes. An all beige fit. I just don't want to see it anymore. People still think that like beige and gray is luxurious, and like it did look rich and minimalistic and nice in like 2017, 2019. Like, can we get some color in our lives? Okay, like, Lord. But not only that, I think in the early 2000s, like between like the girl groups and R&B, there was a lot more like emphasis on like friendships between girls, especially, you know, like the Cheetah Girls, for instance, is a good example, or TLC, or you know, Destiny's Child, right? These early 2000s groups that were all about like girl friendship and like girl empowerment, and you'd see a lot of these movies, and like, and that's why I referenced some of them here, like The Sleepover and Crossroads and stuff like that, because I hope we see that more in the media, that they all had different aesthetics, and they were all like friends. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't all have to look the exact same. Like, some of them did. Some of them looked like they were all the same. They were all like part of the friend group. They all, like, the Cheetah Girls, for instance, they all had like a cheetah part on. They all had like a denim part on, and they all like matched. But like in Crossroads, like the one girl's very preppy, the one girl's sporty, like Spice Girls, for example, right? Like there's like these different aesthetics in the friend group, but like they're friends. I just think that's like so cute. Like the 90s was just like all about, like in the early 2000s was like all about celebrating like the uniqueness and like trying to be different. Like you weren't even trying to be like your friends. Do you know what I mean? Like you just did your own style, and like that's really what I like, and that's great that we're pulling from those times, because, you know, that's really the message. And I also wanted to speak on the music. I wanted to predict some music trends as well, and this is a really quick one, but I mean, obviously we're seeing the party and like the brat era and the trashy music, club music come back, and I hope it does, because that's literally my favorite genre of music. But that's not my prediction. My prediction, in the past 10 years or less, we've seen like hip-hop, rap really dominate the charts. Like that's the mainstream music these days. That's what everybody listens to these days, is like rap, right? Like, yes, we listen to R&B, yes, we listen to pop, yes, we listen to all this other stuff. But like in 2014, like the mainstream top of the top was pop. And now I feel like it's rap. And it's a very formulated rap. Like it's a very like trap, 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 bees and hoes, you know, N, rob a store. Right? Like it's a very formulated, you have to talk about this, this, and this. You have to talk about butts. You have to talk about guns. You have to say this word, and this word every 5 words. Like, you know, like rappers can't just be what they want to rap about. You know what I mean? They have to rap about drugs, the Percocets. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think people are just kind of getting tired of that now, because for a while it seemed like only a certain type of rap was working. Like, or like those few years of mumble rap and stuff like that, right? Where it really was just about trapping and drugs, right? I feel like people are getting sick of that, over that. So my prediction, people are going to be going more old school. And what do I mean by that? Well, the old school rap, which again is one of my favorite genres, and it was just, it was more like funky, it had like a better beat, got you moving. It was just like, yes, it was real words, it was real poetry, you know? So, and I think the reason it worked is because everybody was like trying to be themselves, and they were like, we need to put a rap song out, we need to put music out that nobody's ever heard. We need to find a beat that doesn't sound like anything. We need to do a hook that nobody's ever heard of. Like, it needs to be the most, you know, individual thing, right? So that's why I think we're seeing, I don't know. So that's what I think. We're gonna see more like unique raps and more like old school raps and just like stuff that doesn't fit the formula and stuff that's really gonna get us like moving and grooving. Bye!